precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, man. Right? Because that's the key to breaking down these scriptures, man. You can't just read it from back to front, from the top to the bottom. You get good chronological and historical understanding of the scriptures, but you don't really understand the scriptures. All right, you get to a point within a particular verse, you don't fully understand. You look for precepts that back that, or right, because a precept is a preconceived concept, right? You get to a concept within the scriptures, right? That you don't fully understand, or you have an inkling of understanding, right? You have an idea about it. For instance, the society being destroyed. You're gonna go to another precept, a preconceived concept, right? That corroborates with that evidence. It's like building. It's like building up a case, man. And right, and what you're seeing, this case that you're seeing right here, right? The case in point right now is the destruction of the society, the judgment of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that will be of the two-thirds, right? And that's the case that's being built up there. That's where the precepts coming from, man. All right. So you got it back out here. It says, "How long you simple ones will you love simplicity?" Because you got simplicity out here in the society, man. All right. You got simplicity out here, man. Right? To think that you should go on a 1,000,000-man march, that's simplicity of mind, man. Hell, that's the cancer of mind. Because man, that's too far gone, you know. That's too far gone. Because pretty much what you're saying is you're underneath the banner, right, of Farrakhan, man. But I thought Farrakhan was dealing with the Muslims. That's what you're saying. All right, that's too much of a deranged mentality, man. Right? Hey, and if you can walk all you like all day, and that's what the elites say, man. You can walk and march all you like all day, but that ain't gonna change nothing, man. They still gonna, because the scripture says so. They're still gonna forcibly try to implement the so-called New World Order, right? And the Most High is gonna destroy them by way of doing so, man. All right? Oh, their judgment is already sealed, regardless of whether they try to go for it. But we know they're gonna go for it any goddamn way. All right? So it says there, "I turn you at my reproof, behold, I'll pour out my spirit unto you, and I'll make known my words unto you." Right? So the Most High will have it to where when you get reproved, man, right? You don't want to be reproved again, man. You don't want to be in a state where you get cursed out again, man. Well, one curse out is enough, man. Two curse outs too many, man. All right. So what do? You turn at the reproof of the Most High, and you hasten the day, and guess what? The Most High sups with you, like the scripture says in the so-called New Testament. He sups with you, namely, he opens out the different scriptures out there that are in there, man. The different mysteries out there. All right, bit by bit, bit by bit, the simplicity that's encapsulated within your house, of which he comes in the volume of the book, is made known and is made manifested unto you. All right, because really, when you get to understanding it, it's really kind of basic, man. Right, and what does that statement mean? That means there's stuff out there that you don't understand, but when it's broken down onto you and it's broken down in your time, it's really simple, man. You're like, oh yeah, that's kind of basic, man. But that's only when the Most High reveals it onto you in your own time. Because you got guys out here that want to always go for the deep breakdown, man. And guess what? They fall out, man. Right? Because everything's got to happen in its own time, man. Everything's got to happen, right, in order and in discipline and in order, man. The scripture talks about that too. All right, so back in the book of Proverbs, the first chapter on the at the 24th verse, talking about the Israelites don't really, fully get down with this thing. It says, "Because I have called and you refused, and I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, right? But ye have set at not all of my counsel." And that's what they've done, man. Read, because this is the counsel of the Most High. I'm telling you to get right, man. I'm telling you haven't got it right, but you set it at not. You regard it as a light thing. So the Most High says this, man. All right. It says, "But ye have set not all of my counsel, and with none of my reproof, I will also laugh at you calamity." Now, is the Most High going to be laughing? Yes, he's going to be laughing, but he's going to be laughing through his saints too, man. So the saints are going to see it. In fact, I forget the scripture, but off the top of my head, it says pretty much those chariots that the Most High is going to beam the men of the Lord up in, which is spoken about in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter on the first verse, right? Talking about the strangeness and salvation of the elect of the Most High, all right? They're going to have windows, and you're going to be able to see, man. You're actually going to be looking at the destruction of America as you're going up, man. In fact, it says, as spoken about in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter too. All right, come out of my people. That's actually going to be a shout. All right, the Lord's going to say in the Hebrew that's going to come by way of those chariots, and he's actually going to beam his people out simultaneously destroying the society. All right? Because it says, come out of all my people that ye be not partakers of our sins. What's the judgment of our sins? Missiles, man. All right? So it says there, I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And when your fear cometh as a desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, they shall call upon me, but I will not answer, but they shall seek me early, and they shall not find me. So a lot of jakes, right, they're going to get real heavy and real spiritual when they realize it's about that time when the Most High is destroying this place. But by then it's going to be too late. Right? It's going to be too late for them, and it's going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed just along with these Edomites, man. Right? They're going to be, the Most High is going to disregard them. But here's the beautiful thing. When you go into Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and the first verse, it says, Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and the first verse, something to the effect of, let me get it because I'm forgetting the scripture a little bit. Right, it's Isaiah 4, yeah, that's it. Isaiah 14:1 says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined unto them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. So when all is said and done, right, Jacob, which is the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, are still going to be the only ones that are gonna get it, man. They're going to get the inheritance of the kingdom, all of that, man. Get all the goodies, man. All right. So ultimately, the good thing about being an Israelite is, even if you're gonna serve your judgment, of which that's gonna be a hurtful thing anyway, you're still in a way gonna make it, man. If you get born again, you're gonna be in a state of being a ruler, man. All right. So back in the book of Malachi, the 4th chapter, right? Let me just read that again. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as the ovens. Broken that down. It says, all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be as stubble. Talking about Esau being burnt up and completely wiped off the face of the earth. All right, and the day cometh that shall burn them up, saith the Lord, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And that's talking about Esau, man, because Esau ain't gonna have no root nor branch. You ain't gonna have no more people left on the earth, right? They're gonna be known as Edomites, man. Now their spirits, because spirit is energy. You can't destroy energy. Their spirits, their energy, is going to come amongst these other different nations, but they ain't going to be Edomites. All right, they ain't going to be the house of the Rothschilds in the kingdom anymore. All right. After that, they say 1,000 years of hardcore slavery or enslavement on the Rothschilds and all of that, and the Edomites, really all of these different nations, they're going to be a stubble, and it says, hey, they shall neither be any root nor branch. All right. They ain't going to be. You imagine a tree. You're going to have the bottom of the tree or the top of the tree. You ain't going to have a peon, right? A lower ranking Edomite. Or you ain't going to have no higher ranking Edomite, which is the branch. Because you take pleasure when you look at a tree, you take pleasure in seeing the leaves, right, coming off the branch and everything like that, man. That's talking about those, those higher ranking Edomites, man. All right, but you got the roots underneath there, right, which is them lower ranking Edomites, right, the peons and all of that you don't even see, man. You don't even see them. You don't even think about them. When you look at the tree, you don't even think about the roots. Most I said he's going to destroy even those little ones, and right up onto the top of the tree, man. Right, he's going to destroy all of that, man. All right. So this is now in the book of the Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. All right, it's Habakkuk 2:1. And I'll go back and forth within the precepts and that, man. All right, because there's a lot said within this book. There's a lot in it. So this is Habakkuk 2:1. It says, "I will stand up on my watch." Right? You gotta stand up on your. You got dudes out here that ain't even standing up on their watch. They're supposedly know this truth. Hey, you got guys, right? Within the so-called realm, within the circle of GMS, all right? They're all in this spirit of putting your hands in their pockets, man. You're not supposed to, I'm just saying that in the spirit. I ain't thinking of no one on the top of my head. I'm not. That's not my persona, man. That's not my personality to nitpick, man. So I ain't thinking of someone in my head or anything like that. But just speaking in the spirit, you're gonna have guys out here. They're gonna be, just doing the basics, man. Putting their hands in the pocket, maybe holding up the signs, maybe speaking every now and then. All right. Where standing upon your watch just requires a hell of a lot more than that, man. It requires that you watch the videos. It requires that you watch the news, right? And if you're watching the videos and the news, the Spirit's going to be on you to do some more videos. It's just that simple, right? So that's why the scripture says, I will stand upon my watch, all right? And also, when you go into the book of 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, which I'll get now, all right? It tells you, man, right, how you're supposed to measure the times, so you know what times you're in. See, if you ain't standing up on your watch, how you gonna? You're putting yourself at a risk, man. You're putting yourself at a major risk that the Most High, the day of the Lord's gonna come, it's gonna overtake you, man. Because it does say it comes as a thief in the night, so you're supposed to be watching. Right? Hell, if you didn't see it on the news, you're supposed to see it from above it. Right? Hell, if you didn't see it on the above, you're supposed to see it in the news, man. It should be working in tandem, man. You ain't really supposed to be missing a beat. Not right now, man. The time is too short. All right? This is the book of 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, on the 1st verse. It says, He answered me then and said, measure the time diligently, right, in itself, right? And when thou seest part to the signs pass, which I have told thee, right? What's some of the signs that he told us about? Earthquakes, rumors of war, all right? Right, and we're in a state where you got all kind of earthquakes happening out there in all over the world, really, man. Earthquakes, right? Hurricanes, right? Freak weathers, right? You got all kind of freak weather happening all over across the world. Those were some of the signs